I'm Joe Giglio for NJ Sports Now on this Wednesday, May the 27th. The ripples of Ruben Amaro's comments to CSN Philly yesterday morning still reverberating through the Philadelphia Phillies fan base. Amaro speaking to Salisbury on a variety of topics about the 2015 Phillies and their future, was asked about some fans wanting to see young players, especially good prospects like Aaron Nola, starting pitcher in Double-A, J.P. Crawford, a shortstop that has been ranked recently within the top 5 prospects in baseball. Fans look at a bad Philadelphia Phillies product on the field and say, show us the young players. Amaro had this to say about that thought process. They don't understand the game. They don't understand the process. There's a process. And when they bitch and complain because we don't have a plan, there's a plan in place and we're sticking with the plan. We can't do what's best for the fan. We have to do what's best for the organization so the fan can reap the benefit later on. That's the truth. Well, the truth for Ruben Amaro right now is a mea culpa, and the truth is an apology tour for taking out his frustration on the job he's done poorly on fans of the Philadelphia Phillies. Look, if we're looking at Amaro's quote and what he meant and what I think he was trying to say, Ruben Amaro is right. There is a process, and in order to have these players, let's say Nola or Crawford or any other prospect on the Phillies for the most amount of time under the best team control and them playing at their highest level, it makes sense to be prudent with their minor league career, not rush them to the big leagues just to do it. So if that is what Amaro meant, I agree wholeheartedly with Ruben Amaro. But there's a couple problems here. Number one, you don't insult your fan base. Number two, you are telling people who have watched you destroy their baseball team over the past few years that they don't understand baseball. You're speaking to an audience who thinks you don't understand baseball. So even if you're right, and in this instance, I actually think Amaro knows what he's talking about in terms of when it's time or when it should be time to bring up top prospects to the minor leagues. There's no reason to rush an Aaron Nola up now, who said, 15, 20 minor league starts since signing last year after the draft. There's no reason to rush a J.P. Crawford up to play shortstop. He's not quite ready for the big leagues. We talk September, we talk early next year in spring training, next April, May, and June. Those players should arrive to Philadelphia, and that would buy the Phillies an extra year before their free agency down the line. It would buy them more time to become better players before they even arrive in the big leagues, so when they get to Philadelphia, they're ready to produce. There's many reasons why Amaro made some sense in what he said, but when you take on the fan base, especially when you're doing an overall poor job, you're going to lose. And Amaro just doesn't get it. He's really never gotten it. But it's amazing because for a guy that had pretty good success when he first took over the job. Now, they didn't win a World Series under his tenure. He came in beginning of the 2009 season after being an assistant when they won in 08, got to the postseason in 07. But, that team, the Philadelphia Phillies, won more games every year, 07, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, all the way up through 11. They won more games. Then in 12, the slide began for the Phillies, and they land where they are now, one of the worst teams in all of Major League Baseball, sporting the worst run differential. That's on Amaro. He's been there the whole time. And even if he has an idea of what he's doing in terms of trajectory for young players, you cannot tell the fan base they don't know what they're talking about, and you can't put your foot in your mouth like that. For a Stanford-educated guy, for a guy that has been around the city of Philadelphia his whole life, and for a guy who's been a GM in one of the toughest towns to take on fans in all of America, for all of professional sports, to come out and say something that egregious, and then to double down basically on radio in the morning before apologizing and doing a whole tour as the day goes on, it just shows you that Ruben Amaro doesn't get it, and he doesn't know how to speak. He doesn't mind speaking. He's pretty public, and he's pretty forthcoming with the media, but he has no idea how to speak and how to articulate what he means without A, offending, or B, coming off as a total bum and coming off as a GM that seems like he has no idea what he's doing. Philadelphia Phillies fans are upset. Their team stinks, their future is in question, and the guy's still leading them. Doesn't get it and has never gotten it.